Welcome back to Cassandra's Curse, where all the knowing does no good when no one will listen to you. Let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat by giving me the big five. We got Johnny, Super JJ. How are you guys doing? Chris Peck, how are you doing? Thank you very much for letting me know you can hear me. Into surgery. Hello. Immortal MP1. Kyle King. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, so what's going on? What's going on right now? Because there's different things that go on. There's people that watch that I think are on higher channels, or maybe that aren't as involved with like community happenings, or the drama community. Now, this channel and the other channel are certainly not drama channels. We deal with talking about real abuse and using proof and things like that, and raising awareness and prevention. But at a lower level, some of you may be aware with, hi, Bridget, Frank, and President Trump. How are you guys doing? At a lower level, you guys might be aware of some child abuse that just got exposed. Some new child abuse from a new person in this lower tiered over there drama community or whatever. And that person was yelling and cursing at her child off a camera. And also, it sounded like she may have hit him, but I don't know. That person is an abuser, a child abuser. And you guys should be up in arms because they don't even hold a candle to the old man. Don't forget the old man threw a glass jar in a child's face and then turned around and bought him a Batman toy to apologize for it, which is no apology at all. It's just a tactic abusers use to get away without having to acknowledge what they did so they don't have to apologize, usually by presence or just ignore it altogether. And I told you guys before, what did Ike Turner do? He bought Tina Turner flowers and dresses after he would beat her up and punch her and spit in her face and yank on her hair and abuse her in front of the children, of course. So Planet Rotund is here. Kizzybug, hey honey. So I'm just talking about how there was abuse that's been exposed in the community. What's up, Creative J? Thank you for using the hashtag the correct way. Thank you for utilizing the hashtag. That means a lot. Thank you very much. It means a lot to a lot of abused children. It means a lot to a lot of women that go through abuse. It means a lot to a lot of men that go through abuse, but maybe get overlooked or overshadowed, and maybe they never reach out and get help for themselves, or maybe they get scapegoated into never really realizing what the problem is, or that there is a dysfunctional family with roles, and that they can make choices to not be an abuser and get out of that life for themselves. But it's for everybody that's been hurt or hurt by abuse or been abused. But I just always keep thinking about children because they just don't have any choice. They're just thrust into it and even forced to keep loving their abuser, even if they're not getting love the right way. And children even sometimes die from abuse, and they're never fully loved by their abuser, but they stay silent because that's what's considered a normal life for them, because they don't know anything otherwise, because they don't have adults sticking up for them saying, you know what, we're not going to allow this child to end up in the ground, whether it be self-mutilation, whether it be suicide, whether it be depression, mental illness, sadness. We're not going to let it happen to another child, and it's not okay. Oh, hang on. Oh, I saw it. I know. I'm speaking about her a little bit right now. How are you doing, Savage? If you guys don't know Savage, everybody in this chat and watching should be subscribed to Savage Live. She's the first person before me that spoke out against this family, that took a stand for certain things that she believed to be right, again, including being against child abuse. This nice lady here, you want to be subscribed to her, because what this family did to her, what the angry neighbor did to this lady, is they used her own opinions against things that the family were doing, including manipulation, lying to the audience, trying to use sympathies to get more subscribers for Grandpa's Corner, Um, a lot of abuse allegations and racism, so says the angry neighbor, towards that family. And she developed all these opinions that you're supposed to develop about all those things being wrong. And then the angry neighbor just turned on her at the very end and said, well, what are you talking about? In one of these videos, she said, that family's my best, they're my family. Like just literally out of nowhere. She was in argument with this family for a long time, angry neighbor. She turned around and said, that's my family. And she attacked Savage Live, whose channels formerly was Savage in 2016. And the whole community turned on that lady. And I didn't take a stand for Savage in 2016 when I should have, because I wasn't even taking a stand for myself online. But here I am now. And here I have been. And she was forced with legal action, and her family was dragged through the mud and used against her with the cleanup guy in order for the audience to not believe her or care about her or support her. And that's wrong. And my audience knows that wrong. That's wrong. So I'm asking my audience to support her. Support Savage Live. I don't think she talks about this on her channel anymore. I don't even think she's allowed to, because why should she be made to feel that she should lose anything, let alone her home? Or have her feelings hurt again by a bunch of people in the community that didn't get it right the first time in support of her, and allowed the angry neighbor to get away with literal murder online while lying about this woman, while backing up the family, while they got away with using and playing upon and manipulating the sympathies of the audience and the sickness of and the dad having cancer, making him look sorrowful while they're asking for subscribers for Grandpa's Corner. She pointed that out. She pointed out that the severity of what he had at that time wasn't as severe as what they were pushing, but they were trying to be more manipulative in terms of that as well. And she was right about that. And she got attacked for that, and they used it against her, even though that's what they did. Angry Neighbor says the dad was a racist, but we don't need to hear her say that, because we don't need to hear the Angry Neighbor say that when she's mad at the family, because she has no respect for anybody. And she only will tell you the truth when she's mad at people. And then when she's not mad at them, she turns around and she wants you to not even think about what she said. And she is okay with making you think that she's a liar, because she's disposable in that sense. And she allows herself to be so at the manipulations and the expense of the audience being able to develop an opinion. Yeah, you can have that opinion. He's racist. We've seen the footage. You could think he's an abuser, a child abuser. We've seen it. So this woman that's being exposed, and so Savage Live, support her and subscribe to her, please. She spoke out long before I did, and her channel went down for no good reason. And the cleanup guy, if you haven't seen my videos for her and in defense of her, Violence for Cheeseburgers and the Hot Blonde, okay, check out that video. And then check out Pickle Boy savagely attacks smaller content creators, because he's doing that to me. He's done it to her. And when he doesn't have content creators that are trying to have an opinion or develop a space online where they could speak about how they feel and have a channel and coexist with everybody else, then he's attacking his own family members. Sister, the brother, the mom, the angry neighbor at some point when they were in argument. Okay, but where am I? Okay. Whew. Subscribe to Savage Live. Support her. Okay. We should support smaller content creators. That the only problem Pickle Boy had with her and was able to create in regards to her wasn't really her opinions per se. It was just he didn't like how the way she said things. The cleanup guy, oh, you're running your mouth. You're running your mouth. Well, just because you don't like someone's content doesn't mean that you get to dictate it or use your platform as an abuser to lie about them, but they do it anyways. So stick near this channel, because I had to disprove all those nasty things that he said about her and her children while doxing her husband and just not caring while gaslighting her and blaming her. Okay, let me get some water. Hang on. All right. Now, this Karen person in the community who was abusing her kid on her live stream. I have some things to say about her, but I'll hold off maybe, because certain things can't be proven. Even though I may believe them to be true, I can't just tell you everything that I feel without proof. and expect you guys to believe it too. So I will hold off on certain things that I was thinking about this person. Aside from that, you see and hear abuse, correct? Think about the old man also, because we see a lot of abusers on YouTube. There's a lot of different people abusing their kids that don't care. It's the same thing with the old man that threw a glass jar, mason jar, in Pickle Boy's face because he was irritated and mad. And there was a buildup there. There was a buildup to the story, too. The dad just didn't throw it and get mad automatically. He was getting pissed off at hearing children having fun and playing and laughing, and then turns around and buys him a Batman toy instead of taking him to the doctor because he had a concussion and maybe could have died. And that's unacceptable. And even the grandmother, who was the mother of the old man, there, backing up, supporting, being neglectful, allowing the abuse to happen, did nothing. Didn't call the police for the kids. Okay? Why is the scapegoated daughter coming over here a year ago when this channel wasn't as serious? And, oh, actually, my first channel, when Out of the Shadows, she came over to the first channel. I only had a couple, and maybe that's why. I only had 200 subs on that channel. So she didn't have any problem coming over and saying the material made her sad and acknowledging her abuse perspective. She didn't think this was going to go anywhere, but it's quickly going to go somewhere because abuse is wrong. And why is she turning around and lying about me now, saying that she's never spoken with me and that I'm crazy? She even used the word nuts to Sarah Holmes. Sarah Holmes said, "Why did you go and cry to Roasted Studios about your abuse?" And she said, "Sarah, LMFAO, I never spoke with Roasted Studios. She's nuts." Well, then why do I have all this proof that I spoke with you? Why am I making videos? And why does the audience see the truth? So what are you going to do with that truth? What are you going to do knowing that the old man is on a backpack right now saying anger never should die, being sold to children for $40 a pop? And you're supposed to buy into that and listen to that Dear Dad song where he says, the dad's in heaven and he believes in God all of a sudden, and the dad was a good dad. Well, what about the channel where he's writing? Drop the channel. We'll drop the channel with all his music where he says he doesn't believe in God. As a grown adult, writing rap songs, says he doesn't believe in God. And what about my video? What about where do the prayers go? What does he do with the prayers? All those prayers that all the audience, the giving, loving audience cares to give, whether it be through a video or through, leaving a comment, or maybe through buying merchandise. Maybe you leave a prayer and you want to show more support, so then you buy things. Then now you got believers and people who have religion and believe in God or whatever God they believe in that are supporting the Father and Pickle Boy and playing upon those sympathies, even though Pickle Boy said that Jesus was an a-hole and that he silly stringed him, and maybe the silly string would go through the holes in his hands, acting very disrespectfully towards the mother who is religious or was religious at the time and was hanging on to that, and that's all she had to hang on to. If not for burning a cross into her arm because her own son and husband and cleanup guy bullied her, were mean to her, lied about her, misinterpreted past information that they said they don't even recall that happened themselves, and took away her privileges, I guess, in the courts to see the children by herself, the grandkids, and solely blamed her for all this abuse that wasn't her fault. What would end up happening? What would you think would happen to you if someone did that to you? Just like this Karen lady did to her child, making the child believe like you deserve to cry, you deserve to be called insults, you deserve a glass mason jar on your face, you deserve to be thrown into a river only to possibly drown because it's funny to an alcoholic and some of his buddies whom he treats better than his own family. What do you guys think about all this? Let me check the chat out for a second. Okay, let me check the chat out because I'm just kind of rambling here. But yeah, you see, I have some people who have never hashtagged it up over here. who have never talked about what about the abuse, who don't come to a lot of the live streams. I'm not talking about anybody in here right now, specifically, mind you. I'm talking about someone who's not here. And they saw or heard that footage of this Karen person, and that now they want to do a live stream on that lady or talk about that lady, but they've never talked about anything over here. What about the abuse over here? Because abuse is abuse, and abuse affects everybody negatively, especially children, in a really damaging, harmful way. The grandkids in this family were abused. The kids at one point when they were kids were abused, and you will find abuse throughout YouTube because it's a platform where abusers can still get paid, and it's not a problem. Okay, sorry guys, I'm reading certain things. Okay, hang on. Let me did I miss any important questions? Yes, Chris Peck will still support you, honey. Kyle, thank you for using the hashtag. Ah, Frank says, I think it's so weird. Daddy 05 got taken down for the same things that went on in the this family videos. Yeah, it's because I'm trying to get the message out there, as is everyone in the chat. And we could get the message out faster if more people in the community cared about abuse that happens to every child versus just somebody that they see on a random channel that hasn't lied to millions of people for millions of dollars. She's just another child abuser that needs to be exposed, as do these people. So, yeah, they have this same exact footage where they're making children cry, emotionally abusing them, psychologically abusing them, calling them homophobic things, throwing things on them. And the same footage is still up. And I made a 7-minute video on Vimeo. Would you please drop the link to the Vimeo video? And that got a strike. And nobody's looked at my video or is helping me with my video to get it back up there for child abuse awareness and prevention. Yet it's spread out on all their channels to include Sister Syracuse, uploaded as entertainment so they can further themselves on YouTube and make money. That's okay to have on YouTube, but not my 7-minute video calling it out as abuse, saying get help for it, here's the number to do so. If you care, spread the video around. It's a double standard. It's a huge injustice that's going on right now. That's why I need everybody to hashtag it up. And that's why I need everybody to care, because it's about abuse that happens to every child. It's about domestic violence that happens to anyone that suffers from it. It's about all the things that happen from, being placed and having to live a life through abuse. And let me see here. Hi, Outlaw. How are you doing, honey? Oh, yeah, that's even worse. Yeah, sure. It's even worse. Normalizing it, saying it's okay, saying it's funny. Did the Doof Warrior ever say that everything he laughed at wasn't funny? Or was he just kind of worried about not being considered an abuser, basically, even though nobody called him an abuser? Is he worried about the fact that he has videos up where he's still laughing at abuse, where he's still saying that the Daddy 05 child abuse was an abuse and it was funny and it was Cody's fault? Does he have a problem with that? Or I guess not. I guess they just don't care. I guess it's up to you guys to care and say something. And, Pickle Boy has a video where he's getting a shout out and from Rockstar Videos, right? Red Dead Redemption. Time to contact Rockstar Video Games, who now have their name attached to child abusers. Do they not? Maybe it's time to contact them now. Shady says the scapegoated daughter commented on one of his comments. He told her he was proud that she was getting her own job, but it's not right that Pickle Boy makes her humiliate herself for money. Oh, absolutely. The video that I have up that I got from one of his old channels, where him and the dad are clearly not putting her needs first, as he's exploiting her with a black guy, and the dad is just kind of putting himself first and putting all the attention and focus on himself because he's the abuser. while not even addressing that he's the first man that ever really abused her, right along with her brother, the scapegoated brother who sexually abused her and her other sister, which is not something that is so far-fetched or uncommon to think that would happen in an abusive family with lack of sexual boundaries, with lack of morality, integrity, and ethics, with no sexual boundaries whatsoever, actually, to include talking about a lot of incestuous things on their programming, where abuse and neglect went rampant, to include lack of supervision, neglect, and failure to act. You guys should hear that sexual abuse happened and realize they're exploiting their abuse in their family for a long time now, and that it doesn't seem so far-fetched as I said, because all the elements are there. Are all the abuse stories there? Is all the footage there with the abuse footage? Okay, then I guess you have a reason to believe what you think. Anyways, I want to give a bunch of shout outs. I don't know if I wrote everyone's name down, so I apologize if I didn't get everybody. But let me just shout out some people that have been really helpful. Kyle King, Lexi, Gonzo Bombers, The V Man, McGuffin, Deanna Hurst, Jamie Hicks, Savage Live, David Cadden, LS Steve, Dave25, John Smith, Philip Tucker, Rose Quartz, Chris Peck, Crazy Ellen, Bubba Boo, KC Detox Diva, Elise Eaton, Autumn Loving, Boston, 3233, Cowpote, Don't Give Up, Bridget, Jennifer Z, Mandy Golden Goddess Fan, Tennille, Kizzybug, Lita, Michael Fairfax. Okay, those are just some people I needed to shout out. If I missed your name, oh, Nocturnal Saint Studios. I'm sure he'll love to know that. I don't know if he's watching, but he'll love Murr. Hey, Murr, how you doing? Murr, if you're doing a live stream on that other lady, you got to do a live stream talking about this or even mentioning this. You got to. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Especially with that sensory overload that the little autistic boy had to endure with Pickle Boy psychologically abusing him in that dark room. I mean, come on, girlfriend, let's speak about it, you know? So, yeah, so I know she agrees with that. She's got two really cute little boys. They're adorable. They're cutie pies. And she knows. She knows what autism is because her sons have this, and she has to. She's told me about this sensory overload and about how serious it is, and taking the needs of the children into consideration based on whatever they have to suffer with or endure, and not treating them differently. And I guess in some sense, Pickle Boy didn't treat those kids differently. He abused them the same as everyone else. That autistic kid gets abused the same as everyone else. But what I'm saying is treat him as a human being and be well aware that because he's been through so much abuse, because the mother went through so much of abuse, that with this epigenetics, it affects the gene development. So she runs around saying, oh, yeah, my son has Asperger's and has autism. Well, the scapegoated daughter's son in particular, we could trace it all back to all this abuse that she's gone through. She's gone through a lot of trauma. So she's gone through sexual abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse. We see it on even these episodes that they've collected money for and said was okay. All right. So to hear that, some of the children, okay, one of her children has autism now and is still getting abused on camera for profit. And then the other son, the eldest son, had to go to a special school for anger management because in school he was sleeping all day, probably because he's staying up late playing video games, right? Or in a household where there's too much fighting and arguing, or an uncle that's abusing everybody because he was addicted to drugs last year, being very abusive online. And that eldest nephew had to go to a special school because he was throwing books around and it was very, very angry. Where did he get that from? Did that just come out of nowhere? Was he born to be that way? No, I don't think so. It's environmental. So we have a lot of different factors going on. A lot of people are really up in arms with this Karen lady, as you should be. You should be exactly the same about the old man, pickle boy, even Princess abusing one of these kids, if not exploiting them while holding up the camera, if not standing around watching women get abused. The scapegoated brother, whose channel's going beautifully right now, who does a lot of adventures and whatnot. That doesn't change the fact he abused kids last year, does it? And it doesn't change the message I need to push for you is that you could sometimes see the abuse beforehand. You could definitely see it beforehand. If you know that you have an individual who's abusive, who's never got help for their trauma, who's acting abusive and volatile and making death threats online, who doesn't care about the needs of the children that are on these live streams hearing and make death threats, who was very disrespectful to myself on my last channel, who was all over it, who would not leave me alone. You know, if he's addicted to drugs, which was pretty damn clear and evident to me, and a lot of that video footage we saw, mind you, isn't that, did he go on the stretcher and admit to drugs or alcohol? Yes. He had to go to rehab. Okay. I saw it, and I know that you don't enable, and enabling's bad. Did Pickle Boy and the dad see it? Or did they just enable? And they just, the angry neighbor just provide the drugs like she said she did? Did Pickle Boy just really didn't want all the negative press for his channel? And did he really just get on his own channel in the episode writing him out of our lives? And he had the children talk about past abuse that Roasted Studios channel tried to prevent because he doesn't know what a dysfunctional abusive family is. He doesn't know what enabling is. He doesn't realize that his show comes second, money comes second, and children's needs come first. And now I have to deal with the scapegoated daughter running around lying about ever even having spoken with me because it can't tie back to a real abusive family with real abuse footage, with real abuse that happened, and real neglect and real lack of action and lack of supervision. Is that true or not? Why is the scapegoated daughter lying about speaking with me while insulting me? She said I'm friends with the angry neighbor, which wasn't true. She's called me crazy. She said she's never spoken with me. Now she's running around and has run around and said the abuse never happened. I wonder why she's doing that. And I wonder if there's no abuse that ever happened, why we're seeing all this footage of abuse and why we're hearing all these stories of abuse and why those kids ended up abused last year with no one having gotten them out of the house or cared enough about them and their needs and their feelings to do the right thing for them and buy them. Lita said she lied about where I live. Well, I can't tell you where I live, so we got to leave everything open. But you're absolutely right. She's going up and saying she knows where I live. And mind you, does where I live, is that more important than, why does that even matter? So funny. It's so weird. We're calling them out for being abusers and abusing for profit, and they want you to care about where I live. And I got some people in the monopoly, as you guys saw a few days ago, that just have fake arguments with troll accounts that aren't me, just so they could say nasty, mean things about me on their live streams. But mind you, I've been telling you the whole time that person was in the monopoly. And what does that mean? It means they're staying silent about child abuse while attacking my channel for no reason. The monopoly. Or some not attacking, just causing distractions or building up other channels in the monopoly or just acting like it's not important or they don't care, having conversations that lead absolutely nowhere. Can you drop Rose Quartz channel? I want people to go support her. I'm going to give a shout out to somebody's channel right now. I came across a video of theirs. It's a reaction video. It's only 8 minutes. And they did it pertaining to one of my videos. Which one? I'm not even sure now which one. I don't know if she said. But the very first things that she says, now listen to me. If you don't believe anything that I say on my channels, or if you found reason to laugh at the hashtag, you got to listen to this young lady. Are you going to drop the link? Okay. You have to listen to this young lady. She The first thing she says is that she's a fan of the families and she would love to meet them one day. Or she, right? She wants to meet them. And then she says she's only watched for 2 years. Okay, so 2 years. That's a lot of footage underneath this contract with the family-friendly content, is it not? So this girl, she didn't know anything about the abuse. Okay, she came over to the channel, watched a video, maybe more. Oh, conveniently, she didn't address cowpote for some reason, or myself, and was able to come up with a conclusion about the abuse without addressing those people. Is that kind of strange to some people? Because I got some people laughing about the abuse and making fun of it because they don't like either me or cowpote. When me or cowpote really don't have anything to do with this message. It's really beyond us. We're just the ones supporting it, right along with everyone in the chat. So isn't that strange? It's some people have a problem with cowpote. Is that their own ego getting in the way of them addressing the abuse? Because this young lady, who is a fan of the family, wants to meet them, came to a conclusion herself about the abuse without addressing me or cowpote. Isn't that strange? Oh my God, that's so weird. How could she come to a conclusion about thinking abuse is wrong and by supporting the hashtag and the fact that child abuse for profit's wrong without addressing cowpote? Oh my gosh. Could cowpote be completely unrelated? And some people just don't like him and are being immature online and using it as an excuse to not address the abuse? Hmm. Okay. And some of those people are actually adults with children who should be ashamed of themselves. But let's talk more about Rose Quartz, because here's her channel, and I want you guys to check her out. I would like for you to subscribe to her. I would like for you to support her. She may never talk about my channel or abuse ever again. It may have just been one reaction video. I don't know, and I could care less. I still support her. I think she's fabulous. I think she's wonderful. She took the time to watch one of my videos. She took the time to let her audience know she is a fan of that family and would love to meet them, but that abuse is wrong. And that she's surprised and I think was very saddened by all of this abuse footage. And that if you're going through this abuse and what we're showing over here, that you need to get help and that it's very, very dangerous and that all the abuses are just as bad. This young lady said this over on her channel. Yeah. So please find that video where she does a reaction. The link is in the chat. And definitely watch the video. It's 8 minutes. She gets to the point very clearly. More mature than most people I've seen on here. Maybe even more mature than my damn self. And she hit the nail right on the head. She's only been watching them for 2 years. She didn't know about the abuse. She wants to meet the family as a supporter. But this abuse is horrendous. And it's very damaging and harmful. And everybody should get help for it. And that was her message. No questions asked. She didn't even ask, oh my gosh, is there someone else supporting that hashtag that I don't like? No, she absolutely did not. It was amazing. I've already seen it. Yeah. We're comparing it. Well, you can't compare abuse because abuse is abuse. Abuse is wrong. All abuse is wrong. But we're talking about Rose Quartz right now, who came across my channel and she made a decision that this abuse was wrong. And she sees it. And she's not going to allow anyone to tell her anything otherwise. And it's very hurtful to her. If you guys watch her video, I think she's very, very hurt right now as a subscriber of that family. Please click on her video and support her. She may never make a video about talking about the abuse or a reaction video ever again. And as I've stated, I could care less. She spoke out. She saw the abuse footage and she said something. And she knows abuse is wrong. And that was amazing. She's a bright young lady. I told her, I said, well, I don't know if you're a mom, but of course you're going to make a wonderful mom one day if you're not a mom already. It didn't matter that she's a subscriber or a fan of theirs or a supporter for the past few years. She just is learning about abuse. She's not ignoring it. She's not making an excuse as to why not to see it. She's not causing a distraction. She's letting her audience know all abuses are wrong. All the abuse she's seen over here, it's all wrong. And it's very damaging and hurtful and harmful, and you need to get help for it. And that's exactly the same thing I've been telling my audience. So if you don't believe me, please go to Rose Quartz channel, because certain people around here don't mind about you watching their channel with them abusing kids or still supporting them with them having abused kids. I mean, this Karen lady, this Karen lady, nobody should be watching her or supporting her because she's a child abuser. The same thing goes with the old man and with Pickle Boy and with Princess, because they exploit it, they exploit abuse, they filmed it, they abused the kids themselves, they enabled drug addicted abusers to abuse the kids while doing nothing, but after the fact have time to scapegoat. Months after abuse happens, or a week or whatever it isn't the time to prance a child up on camera and film them. You guys film them being abused. You film yourselves berating them, bullying them. You film yourselves abusing them. That's why DSS got involved. Community-based services made a choice to get involved with this family, who is just like the Daddy-O5 family, who is yet to be exposed yet, and they know it. And that's why they're going around and lying about my channel. And if you don't believe me, check out the proof. Check out my latest video on the scapegoated daughter lying about my channel, lying about me. Why is she doing it? It's all in an effort to distract you. Because Pickle Boy, who has now 4 million subscribers on one channel and over 2 million on another, made his start on YouTube with domestic violence and child abuse. He's still pushing the imagery and the image of the child abuser in video games, t-shirts, backpacks. They're still telling you this is okay. And it's not okay. It's not right. Everybody should be hashtagging what about the abuse. If you don't believe in child abuse on YouTube and you don't like seeing it on people's channels, let me see everyone hashtag it up right now, please. If you're against child abuse for profit and you don't like seeing it on people's live streams and or channels, let me see everybody hashtag it up. Don't worry, I'll wait. What is that, a Cat Williams line? He was saying something in his comedy at one point. I don't know. He asked the audience something. He said, don't worry, I'll wait. Thank you guys so much for using that hashtag. Yeah, I think my audience doesn't like seeing it, and we don't agree with it. We don't support it. It's disgusting. It's not content. It's not constructive. You're ruining a child's life for no reason, and you're permanently changing who they are forever when you do it, too. That Karen lady, she abuses her children. And how do we know that she abuses the kids? How do we know they get abused? Well, you hear the reaction, right? There's a reaction there. Let's hear about all the reactions that I'm going to be talking about. What about in the Doom video with Pickle Boy? Did he abuse the kids to get a reaction? And did he get the reaction that he wanted? Even though we may not agree with it or we may think it to be abuse, to include excessively filming the kids when they're crying, not opening a door, scaring them with your hand, keeping them in the dark, letting them play a game that is too mature for them anyways, that includes hell, demons, blood, people getting murdered. He abuses the kids in that video, and that's why you see a reaction from them. Just like in Karen's live stream, her child's yelling, screaming, and crying. Those kids are crying and upset and frustrated and grabbing themselves and and even very off-putted by someone that they trusted, right? Pickle boy, right? The child was playing a game he thought was safe to play. Pickle boy said it was. Then he said, "Go over to the dead guy. Everything's fine." And then the kid got scared. He said, "Pickle boy, why did you do that to me? You're supposed to be uncle. You're supposed to care about me. You're not supposed to abuse me. Why are you filming this? This is more, it's exploitation." Can this little boy say this for himself? No, that's how children get abused. They don't know what's going on. Half the adults online don't know what's going on until they're told so, or until they're told to believe something by a Monopoly member. You're told to care about someone on another channel abusing their kid, who you got a reaction from. These abusers over here got reactions from kids too. What about the Michael Myers mask? Can you drop the video where he's choking out a child in the thumbnail wearing the Michael Myers mask? Do you guys care about Pickle Boy choking out a child and using it as a thumbnail to further himself on YouTube? We'll drop the link and hopefully you guys will care and maybe flag the video, and maybe YouTube will care, or maybe hold YouTube accountable for not caring and contact the CEO again and send the video to her and say, "You're a mother, you're supposed to care. What the hell's going on here?" Is he not in the Michael Myers videos? Is he not walking towards the children, that one child, in a threatening manner? And the child gets scared and crouches down and cries. Yeah, it's child abuse, psychological abuse. You're making the child think they're going to get hurt or get abused again, if not by everyone in the family, by not protecting them or abusing them themselves, because they think spanking and whippings is okay in that family. One person that was either the father or someone dating the scapegoat daughter, according to the old man, held a gun to one of the baby's heads. The Michael Myers video, he's slamming his hand down on the table. And the child is what? Crying, but then crying more and louder, getting a bigger reaction for the abuser, for this supposedly funny entertaining footage that we see. A little boy getting spanked in that video footage also. But we don't need to wonder or question, well, is this little boy bothered by this? Because he's crying and whimpering on his lap. If you don't believe me, watch my video. Pickle Boy goes too far with his nephews. It's on my channel. The children are crying in reaction to seeing someone with a mask that they think is a stranger, while children are supposed to be scared of masks and strangers and are, naturally. They're scared of the dark. So you don't need to create an abusive situation and lock them in a room to get a reaction where you make them cry. But if you're an abuser, wants to get a start on YouTube, make millions of dollars, do it right away. Do it tomorrow. Nobody will probably call you out or even care about it. What else do I want to talk about here? Oh, what about being mean to the mom during and after that divorce? Scapegoating her in the divorce interview, gaslighting her, blaming her for everything. Blaming the mom for everything. Did Pickle Boy and the old man get a reaction out of the mom by bullying her and abusing her? Because they didn't want to, the brand, can't, it's not second place, guys. That's where the money's at. That's where the main abuser's at, that has to be protected, who has yet to take accountability. Mind you, he died, so don't say anything bad about him, because he passed away. What was the reaction they got out of the mom by bullying her? Well, she self-mutilated her body. Not once to cope with pain, but multiple times, because she has a cross etched into her skin on her chest, and a cross that she burned into her arm. Self-mutilation is not just cutting, it's also burning. It directly leads back to the family, not just the old man, but through enmeshment and getting involved between the marriage when he's one of the kids that's supposed to just love both parents equally and support them equally. The mother was probably killed inside by her son, all of a sudden getting on a live stream saying she's the abuser. She's the only abuser. She's a horrible person. She doesn't deserve to be around kids. She's this, she's that. She's your damn mom. Just right along with being an abuser with the dad, she's a victim and was victimized right along with you, Pickle Boy. If not for hearing all these horrendous stories to where she was being abused and acting out with this anger, from this overwhelming anger from being abused. We see the footage that you filmed that you thought was okay of your dad abusing her. And one person on a live stream told me, why are people worried? Why are people getting hung up on what's real or fake? Both are disgusting and deplorable, and you should do neither online for money. And I said, I don't know. I'm too busy telling people that laugh at my hashtag, that are mad at Cowpoke, to not make up excuses to laugh at child abuse. But that's another reason why I shout out my mods and the people in here that support the channel, and even Rose Quartz. Will you drop her link one more time? Subscribe and support Rose Quartz, who did a video acknowledging that she's been watching the family for the past 2 years. She likes the family, likes the videos, wants to meet them, but just stumbled across my channel and she sees all this abuse, and she knows abuse is very harmful and detrimental. It's not okay. And it was enough for her to make a video about. And that's part of his audience that I'm talking about that doesn't know about this abuse. Thank you, Little Miss Bliss. Thank you so much for that. Part of his audience doesn't know about any of this abuse at all. So why are people worried about laughing about the hashtag or getting an argument with troll account that's not me, or making videos that attack me when they've never supported the channel or supported child abuse awareness and prevention for profit? They're not refuting any of the footage, they're just attacking. Why are they doing that? They're in a monopoly, and you're supporting some of those people in the monopoly. Don't support them. Cowpote's not in the monopoly. You may not like how he speaks, but he doesn't stay silent about child abuse while laughing about it, while backing up and supporting the families that made money off of it. That's the monopoly. What's up, First Lady? What's up, Justin? Little Miss Bliss, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that. Hashtag it up for everybody's pain, for everybody that cares, for everybody that's taking the time. Okay, let's look at some more action and reaction, because that Karen lady abused her kids and got a reaction from the child, right? The child was crying. Okay, so what about the dad? You see him throwing things on these kids, right? Even Sister Syracuse said that he got so mad at her once and he threw all these things at her when she was a kid. So he just throws things at kids, to include mason jar, right in their face. This guy's a hero, apparently. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why more people aren't talking about it and more people don't care. Did the children end up throwing things? Multiple times in footage that I show you. The eldest son especially. In the Vimeo video, he throws something at the dad because the old man taught them to throw things, right? And the dad cocks back the glass pasta jar. Doesn't throw it because it's all normalized at this point and we got a camera on us, so we're just laughing at abuse. That's what Pickle Boy does to get through abuse and trauma. He laughs at it. It's comedy to him because he's the mascot in this dysfunctional, abusive family role. But we have to talk about this on this channel with less people watching because they struck my channel and I can't live stream on my main channel. But while they're striking my channel with videos they don't want you to see and judge them over, the scapegoated daughter and people in Monopoly run around lie about me when they have no idea who I am. They run around taking no accountability for their own abuse footage for profit, and they run around and lie about me. So the kids were taught to throw things, even in that Christmas video where the kids being cursed at and called homophobic slurs and things. In my the flying truck video, that little boy throws something at the old man in that video after he has stuff thrown at him, right? Trash and a toy. And what does the little boy do? He thinks, well, he's throwing things at me, so I guess it's normal. So I throw things at Papa back. What does the abuser do? You don't throw things at your Papa. You guys ever understand me? So abused into the child doing the same reaction, only for them to turn around and being abused. Real nice. What about when Pickle Boy walks up with that mask on? And he scares the little boy, and the little boy has to cover his face because children at that age think they can cover their face and they disappear all of a sudden. They can take themselves away from their abuse momentarily, perhaps. And what about him in Lights Out? The same little boy sitting on the lap of the old man in the dark, which kids are scared of the dark. He's got a camera light on him from the sadistic uncle who thinks that filming abuse for profit's funny and okay because you make money. And he's covering his face there too. What's he doing? He's trying to protect himself from the damn monsters. The person screaming and cursing that's behind him, this literal Karen person, he's trying to protect himself. He's trying to shield himself. He's trying to make himself invisible from the abuse. So if the kids throw things in the family, they end up getting abused for it, or they get punished for it. And also their behavior has to be corrected because that's not how you deal with life. That's not how you deal with children. The old man committed crimes long ago on children, to include neglected them just last year to where they got abused. Pickle Boy backed that up, right? Maybe next time don't put the kids on camera while trying to scapegoat the abuser so you think you get away with taking no accountability while having children recite abuse that happened to them months prior that I tried to prevent, huh? Why not do that, yeah? Okay. What about the old man throwing the daughter that lives in New York in the river? She almost drowned, right? She said she was scared. What was her reaction to her abuse? Karen could get her little son to cry, right? She can get him to scream and shout and cry and abuse him and do YouTube and use YouTube's platform to do it, right? What did the old man do? She says in the story, she said she got the hell out of there and she ran and she cried and was scared and sad. What do you think abuse does to you? What do you think your old man almost drowning you is going to do to you? It's going to scare you. It's going to traumatize you. Maybe give you PTSD. He gives you a nice story later on for content when you're normalizing child abuse and that abuser to an audience. What's another story that happened to her that I haven't shared, but it's on her channel? It's on my throwback page with the Doom abuse, psychological, emotional abuse video that ties directly back to the daughter in New York. She's uploading abuse herself. The old man, she slammed a door once, and the old man got mad at her, of course. And what do you think? What do you think an alcoholic child abuser is going to say? You got to say my door. He broke this door down on top of her. The sister Syracuse, the daughter in New York. A door laying on top of her with this big, robust body, probably yelling, spitting in her face. What was her reaction to her abuse in that story? She jumped out the window. She had to try to escape the room because she had no one in there protecting her. There was nobody in there hashtagging what about the abuse. She didn't have anybody protecting her, which is called neglect and is also abuse. All she had was a window and an escape route, an exit, much like the mom had, right? That Pickle Boy used against her. Mom had a bag packed. Let's blame her. Let's get her. She had a bag packed because she was tired of burning crosses under her skin, because she was tired of you guys not getting it. She was tired of you not understanding abuse is wrong. That's why you don't do it. I think she was a little bit sick and tired. So she had an escape bag. Even if you try to escape abuse in that family, you get blamed for it. Isn't that what happened with Cody? With the Doof Warrior? The Doof Warrior. He blamed Cody for his own abuse and laughed at it and laughed at somebody even putting a Wikipedia thing in there saying it was child abuse. Has the Doof Warrior ever backtracked and said maybe it shouldn't have laughed at any of that abuse or blamed Cody or blamed these kids that were covering their face when they were trying to make themselves invisible from the old man who was abusing them while Pickle Boy was filming, which is exploitation, which is also abuse. Mind you, he wasn't doing anything, which is called neglect, which is also abuse. Hello, people, wake up. I need your help and support over here. Hashtag it up, please. Anyways. This Karen lady, it's the same thing that the Monopoly did. It's what Daddy O5 did. It's what Pickle Boy did and the old man. They instigate reactions through abuse. They abuse you. And if you happen to say anything like the daughter, like she slammed her door once after being abused and scapegoated by her family, what do you think happens then? What do the abusers do then? Well, now they have an excuse to abuse you even more. So the dad broke her damn door down. That door that she was trying to hold shut for him not to get in, he broke it down right on top of her. What video was that? It's on her My Throwback page. It's called The Runaway. Can you put the My Throwback page on here? If you guys want to hear the story I keep talking about, this door being thrown right on top of this young daughter, but don't care about the abuse. Just buy the backpack. You guys, just play the video game. Just don't talk about it. You guys, attack Cowpote. Attack Cowpote. He gives to charities and he speaks out against the abuse. Just attack him. Don't hold any of them accountable. Just believe their lies. The scapegoated daughter never spoke to me. Doesn't matter if I show you proof. Just don't push it up. Don't push the video on Vimeo. There's nothing to be exposed here. There's nothing wrong here at all. There's not a bunch of people in Monopoly staying silent while even faking having arguments with troll accounts to try to protect and back up this abuse and this money. Isn't that so terrible? But some people don't care. Some people do. I don't know. The old man even calling the autistic son in the family, he called him dumb, didn't he? The little son forgot where he misplaced his shoes. It's an accident, kind of like the money order mayhem with the mom. But if there's any accidents in this family, or if you get mad at being abused, you get abused further, you get called a genius and told the elevator don't go to the top floor, bitch, while that person's banging on your head with their finger, which is a very abusive tendency, by the way. If you're an autistic child, you're going to get called dumb or you're going to get bullied. The autistic son was a scapegoat. I mean, everyone was a scapegoat at some point in this family, but he's really outed for being a little bit different and for having autism. And they use it against him. What did Bridget do? The fact he's got his finger in his mouth and he's staying silent with his eyes open and he's just kind of trying to sit there and coexist in abuse. What does she do? She singles him out and abuses him. What does Pickle Boy do in the Great Christmas Stomp? Singles out the same exact child. The one with autism is the one that gets his face stepped on and pushed back and pushed down to the floor for no reason. He was targeted purposefully and bullied. Even by the old man, calling him stupid, calling him dumb. But anyways, yeah. So everyone should be against child abuse. I don't see anyone making videos saying, wow, child abuse is so great or how it benefits your life. So if you're up in arms about it or in regards to somebody or somebody that's done it, then be up in arms about this as well. Because I read somewhere that 80% of children that go through childhood abuse and trauma end up with a mental illness. 80% of people. Isn't it a certain percentage in the society that are mentally ill that, we're having problems with, right? A lot of homeless people, a lot of people that commit suicide, a lot of people that never fully get help, maybe people that commit crimes and or otherwise, or I don't know. I think that we could clean up our society if we got rid of child abuse and people that backpedal it and back it up on YouTube and online for money. Hashtag it up because it's for everybody that's being abused up in here, including the kids I'm talking about over here. The family backed me up and supported me saying they got abused, right? These kids. So what's the problem? Why all of a sudden can't take accountability? Oh, because neglect is also abuse. And they didn't take those welfare checks seriously, did they? It's a promise from Cassandra's Curse and Rosa Studios to you guys. Don't keep drug addicted, volatile, angry people that make death threats online. Don't keep them around children and elderly people. The children will end up abused. Take the welfare check seriously next time, please. To never get out of your abuse role and only film and exploit abuse while only want accolades for getting people out of abuse while harming them all along the way. That's not okay. That's not a content creator I back up and support. And he can't even back up and support his own creations because he's too busy having his sister coming around down here lying about my channels. You hurt children forever when you abuse them. YouTube, that you should not have this platform and allow people to use this platform to abuse people. Take a look at my video where I'm saying all that footage that you said was okay to pay someone for. Take a look at my video, please, so I get my video back up, because they're purposefully ignoring my video, and I don't appreciate it. If all that footage is allowed to be up for profit, why can't mine be up for no profit at all, saying it's wrong? It's a double standard, and it's not acceptable. And I need everybody to hashtag it up, get mad, and start caring, and start questioning the people that you watch and support on their live streams who have already attacked this channel for no reason and who have stayed silent about it, or channels who've already used this channel, to include Cue Ball, who's already used my channel months and months ago to get over 1,000 subs, people. Hello? I got people that said they were my friend who are going around supporting him, who stays silent and backs up child abuse for profit, who lied about my channel, manipulated his audience to get over 1,000 subs. Isn't that sad? But then again, that's the same person who's staying silent about content creators that think it's okay to hold knives up to children to get what from them? A reaction. Would Pickle Boy hold a child up to a knife if he couldn't get that sickening reaction where the kid looks scared? To where he's like, oh, I love that reaction. I'm a sadist. I'm a disgusting abuser that revels in enjoyment in abusing kids. No, you don't treat children that way. But then again, only 34 watching on a smaller channel, talking to a lot of people that may not care at all. I know you guys care, but there's other people that aren't in the chat that find reasons to make fun of my hashtag that don't care. Let me read what Rose Quartz just wrote to me on her channel, because I told her, I said, I think you'd be an excellent mother, and I thank you for taking a stand. You did an excellent job. She says, thanks. It just really shocked me. I never knew he did these terrible things to his nephews, even on that footage. I had to get it off my chest. I'm glad I spoke. Wow. I'm glad I gave her a shout out, and I can't wait to give her a shout out on my other channel so even more people will hear the shout out and go support her. I don't even think she may be a mom yet, and she looks a lot younger than some of the people I have that laugh at my hashtag. And she's admitted to being a supporter of the family, but she had to get it off her chest that she knows that all that footage is wrong. I am so proud of you, Rose Quartz. I have no idea who you are. I am a lifetime subscriber to you. I am a supporter of you. I'm a huge fan of you. And as I said, she may never make another video talking about this ever again, and I still support her just as much. She should be proud of herself. It's so sad because I talk to adults over here still trying to convince them that abuse footage that they see for themselves is abuse. And here you have a young lady who's even a supporter admitting that that's wrong and it's terrible and it's detrimental, and she just can't even believe it. And she had to get it off her chest and speak about it. I support you, Rose Quartz. I support anybody who takes a stand for these children. I support all my mods. I support everyone in the chat that's taken a stand, that speaks. Really, she deserves a standing ovation. You guys deserve a standing ovation. You really do. It doesn't matter if it's 100 people against 1,000,000 people. I've never felt more proud. There's a huge part of his audience that doesn't know about any of this abuse. And that's one of those people, rose quartz. And she didn't look at it and ignore it. She didn't look at it and turn around and buy a backpack. She didn't look at it as an adult and say, wait a second, who's Cowpoat? I don't like him, so I'm going to laugh at the abuse. She didn't make up an excuse. She spoke out and got what was on her chest right off of it, which is child abuse is wrong. And she probably feels pretty duped. I mean, really, if you're watching these people just for the past 2 years and you think, oh, wow, they're so great. And look at the old man did a Jake Paul roast and he says, you don't cheat on women and you don't hurt women, you don't hurt kids. And then she comes across my channel and sees this footage. Is this the reason that the daughter's lying about my channel? Is this the reason Pickle Boy already took my channel down 4 months ago? Is this the reason the cleanup guy came into my live streams and laughed about child abuse, but never has addressed it? Is this the reason the monopoly staying silent, but some of them are finding reasons to attack or cause distractions for you? Is this the reason? I'm going to get going, but I have to say again, thank you to Rose Quartz. I will be shouting you out again on my main channel. And I hope you get more love, support on any video that she does because she's a fair person. We need more people like that. We need more people that are going to see things for what they are and speak about it. And she didn't even lie about being supporters of theirs. And she also even said that she didn't, it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't even matter. It matters, but for certain people that hear this, it's still not going to matter to them. But then again, they're not the ones that are going to be exposing the story because they're not the ones supporting it. They're the ones that are actually supporting the child abusers, the people that laugh at my hashtag. So keep it up because you are looking really good. But anyways, I have to get going. Why go live later today? Probably not. But I'll be back on in some format, whether it be Spreaker or something. I'll try to be on again soon. Shady Kid, Deanna, Kyle King, First Lady, Bridget, The Real UK True, Mandy, Deanna, Justin. Who else was in here? Swanky. Shady Kid, I think I already said him. Marquise Booker. I don't know if I've seen you before, but thank you for joining. The Weird Reactor was in here. Patty Powell, love seeing you, honey. Real UK True, I think I said him. Jennifer Z, Lita, Kizzy Bug. I said Deanna, I thought. Deanna Hurst. Chris Peck. Lovely Nurse. The Little Miss Bliss. Justin. Voodoo. Wish Upon Dreams was in here. Frank. President Trump. IVC. Thank you so much. Michael Fairfax hashtagging it up. Creative J. Creative JJ. If there's anybody I missed, I do apologize. Hashtag it up. Start flagging people that are abusing their kids and getting reactions out of them. Get people to care about my channel, and the people that are laughing or don't care, maybe it's time to stop supporting them. Maybe it's time to take this more seriously because nobody can refute that abuse affects your whole life indelibly and forever. They're not refuting it. They're the ones putting out the stories and the footage that shows how it does it through that sexual abuse that hits you years later and made them cry on camera and exposed the brother, through the scapegoating through the brother that caused children to get abused with alcohol and drugs and physical abuse and threats because Pickle Boy owns that home and allowed the abuser to be in there. And the old man, he didn't even mind ruining these children's Christmases just because he pretended to be nice after 2012. Mind you, he wasn't nice in every video, was he? Still abusive. Just because they wanted to make more money doesn't mean the abuse didn't happen, and it doesn't mean it's not important, and it doesn't mean you shouldn't address it. So share that video on Vimeo. Contact the news. Contact Rockstar Video Games, who just gave that person over there a shout out, Pickle Boy. Keep spreading the awareness around because this is wrong, and they can't tell you it's right. All they can do is rip my channel down, flag it, strike it, and lie about it. But I'm not going anywhere. So I'll see you in the next live stream, Spreaker, and or video. Cassandra's Curse, where all they knowing does no good when nobody will listen. All my love to everybody. Lita, Bridget, Kizzybug, all my mods, Rose Quartz, everybody up in here. You go, because you're doing the right thing. And maybe a child will thank you at the end of the day for it. Maybe you can change the life of a child because you care. Very proud of you guys, very appreciative. Loved everybody. Have a good, wonderful day. For some of you, have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.